The number 2 team in the land will open up the season at home this Saturday on CBS with Nevada coming to town. All eyes on Penn State as they hope this year will be the one where they finally break all the way through. James Franklin and company coming in with a tied for third best odds with Ohio State to win that CFP at plus 700. They lost in the semis of the college football playoff to Notre Dame last year. But when you look at a 3-year span in Penn State history, most wins ever, well, look where James Franklin finds himself. At the top of the list with 34 of those things from 2022 to 2024. That's at least one game better than the best ever from Joe Paterno back in 71 to 73. That's the jumping off point for this conversation, where we are now pleased to welcome in CBS Sports college football analyst Gary Danielson. And Gary, so excited for the college football season to start. And this week you get Penn State. What jumps off the page for you when you look at this team?
I think it's that same commitment that Michigan and Ohio State had the last 2 years. These players have come back. Players that could have gone to the NFL have decided that they want to make a run at this national championship. A little bit of that is because the NIL, they're coming back and they're not forgoing a lot of money, but they're committed to winning this thing. They have the same focus that Michigan had 2 years ago and Ohio State ended up having in that season. This is a deep enough team and experienced enough team with all the necessary parts, the two-headed monster running backs, levels of defense with stars at every level, defensive line, linebacker, defensive back. They've got the formula, experience, and athletes to have that type of championship team. But just like Michigan did and just like Ohio State did, there'll be those 2 or 3 games where you got to make those clutch plays to win. That's the last thing that a championship team has to do.
Yeah, championship teams typically have a really good quarterback, and you have to feel good if you're a Penn State fan, knowing that Drew Allar's coming back and saying he has unfinished business. His head coach, James Franklin, has raved about Allar recently, saying he's more athletic, faster, more explosive. Those are words that if you're an opposing defense, you have to be a little bit scared of when you hear, okay, this is how they're feeling about their QB.
Yeah, those are all extras that'll be a part of what Drew is this year, but it's going to be how he plays the game with his experience and his mind. I think when you saw the elevation, and Drew can do this. He has the body types and, as you say, the experience, and he's been working hard, but he's got to take that next step. He needs to take that next step like J.J. McCarthy did from his junior year to senior year, where he made those mental plays, those clutch plays. Going back, Joe Burrow. There wasn't anybody that thought that Joe Burrow was a first-round draft pick after his junior year. But he came out a different player, a focused player his senior year, and he became that leader that took that team to the national championship. Yeah, explosiveness, speed, trimmed down body is all there, but it's those clutch mental plays, thrown to the right guy, making the play at the right time, moving the offensive line to pick up the blitzer. That experience that those senior quarterbacks bring to the table, I think, is the next step that Drew can bring to the team.
Yeah, Allar hoping to have the offense humming from the very beginning, because on the other side of the ball, some changes for Penn State, most notably by bringing in Jim Knowles, who left Ohio State, joins Penn State in a coaching transfer portal move, we can call that. What does Knowles bring to this Penn State defense?
Zach, this is kind of interesting. It's going to be tough, I think, for the naked eye to say, oh, look at the difference. I mean, this is a whole new concept and everything. I doubt that'll be what I think is just credibility. He's been there. He's won. Looking back, I can think of a time when I was covering a Steve Spurrier team when that last drive and he called his offense over and he suggested a few plays. I mean, if Spurrier's calling it, it's got to work. Well, I could see that happen for Penn State here. There's going to come in that game, they need that last stop, that last drive, and the guys on the bench before they go out there, Coach Knowles said, all right, this is what we're going to do. This is how we're going to attack them. This is how we can stop them. That they look over and says, hey, the guy's been there before. He knows what to do. That extra confidence and credibility when those guys look at Jim Knowles on the sideline or making that call, I think that might be the difference that he could bring to this defense.
So, Gary, we opened the door on Ohio State. Let's go ahead and walk through it completely because their game to start the season certainly is a marquee one, hosting Texas in Columbus. The first start for Arch Manning. And I want to focus on Arch here. When you look at him, what do you see?
I just think of a poise and the way he carries himself. And I'm reminded again, I'm going to go back that, he didn't have to play as a freshman and a sophomore. And I think back to a couple quarterbacks. Tom Brady never started a Michigan game until 1998. That means he sat on a bench and was ready and getting ready for 3 years before he started. The same for Joe Burrow. 3 years as an apprenticeship, getting ready, getting his body, getting his mind ready to walk into a stadium like Ohio State. Tom Brady, his first start was against Notre Dame, in that big game. I mean, that's how you have to get ready to be a quarterback. And I just think when you watched Brady play in college, I did his games, Joe Burrow doing his games, they just stood there like, I'm unaffected by this. I got great poise. I'm not going to let the fans bother me. I might not be a perfect what I'm going to be in game 12, 13, and 14, but I don't think the atmosphere will bother Arch Manning, and he'll be able to use those great tools he was born and nurtured to play in these games.
Certainly will be an exciting game to see there. We're looking forward to your Nevada and Penn State to see that as well. Week 1 of the college football season. Gary Danielson, thank you so much. Safe travels and enjoy the entire season. I know we'll be back with you at some point in the future. And speaking of the future, this Friday over on CBS Mornings, well, guess who's popping up? Aaron Taylor.
A.T. Love to see it.
A.T. in the flesh talking some college football to get things excited, because if you aren't excited now, A.T. will do that for you for sure. Check that out, 7 a.m. Friday.